All right, my friends, this video is for you if you are a person who has learned some bluegrass breaks, but when it comes to a song you don't know, you can't play a break. Or if it comes to messing up a break that you've pre-learned in the middle of a jam, as soon as you mess up a part, you're kind of lost because you can't improvise on a song. So this is about building vocabulary, and I'm going to do this on a song, on the song "Roll in My Sweet Baby's Arms." I've just got a capo on the 2nd fret, playing out of the G shape, and I'm going to start teaching you how to think about building vocabulary. We're going to start with a lick, putting it in on the 3 chords, and then we're going to expand from there. So let's take this lick. If you think of like a G-shaped chord like this, and if you think of this kind of classic little reverse G run where you do the pull off, if you take that lick and you put it up an octave, you get it here. And I've got this. I'm not going to go too deep into the breakdown of the actual licks. If you need more explanation, you can ask questions. You can slow the video down. I'll try to explain a little bit along the way, but up, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. And if you play a lick like that, what I'll do is, and I'll show you what I've got going on here, I will loop just a G chord, and I'll try to play that lick, but, on different parts of the beat. So, a lick like that, you want to be able to make it longer, make it shorter, put it on a different part of the beat. You want to be able to experiment with licks like that. So, for example, I might play something like this. So if I can put it there, I might practice that. I might practice extending it by pulling off that string more. I might, on the top part, add something like, so if I've got that, then I can put it on top. And then I'll try to kind of loop it, so like, so I'm kind of playing different variations on the same thing. Yeah. So we've got this version, we've got this version, the quick pull off, let me see what I can do here. Yeah. Just taking those notes and trying to create a constant stream of notes. So let me do this for a little bit longer. I might take that lick, and try to put it on different parts of the beat. So I could put it on the beat, off the beat, I can repeat the high part. And I'm taking that vocabulary there, and I'm just trying to practice it enough so that it becomes fluent. So there's an idea. Then I might try to, for Rolling in My Sweet Baby's Arms, it holds on the G for a while, and then it goes to the D. So I'll go, okay, there's a little bit of stuff I can play on the G. What about the D? So let's loop a D, and let's pick an idea. So I'm going to pick this. So think of this. If I play a D chord, and I play that D note, and I play this is a minor pentatonic shape. Looks like this. If you take that shape, which is the root, the minor third, the fourth, and the fifth, and you put the flat 5 in between the fourth and the fifth, so you've got this. If you take that shape, and you take that minor third, and you slide it to the major third, and below the root here, you get something like maybe a lick like that. Or you can pick either a minor note or a major note. This is a major note, and this is a minor note. So I might play this shape and find these notes. And on this G string, either choose to go, or one's major, one's minor. And I might just take that pattern of notes and see what I could play it as a constant flow. So get something like right there's a lick, and then repeat. Sorry. There's a lick. Right on a different spot of the beat. I'm just coming up with ideas on that pattern of notes. Now I might just to keep it interesting. There's a pattern, and then here's like a lower pattern. Kind of almost the same thing. Yeah, in the next octave. So check this out. This is a pattern in D. That's that minor pentatonic. Here's it lower. So if I play this lick high, try it low. And I can connect those. And I can do a low D run. So all of that information, I can just try to practice flowing with it. So like, right? Any little piece of that, I can come up with a lick. just mess up and just sit there and try to see what you can come up with in terms of, having kind of a constant flow. There's also this kind of pattern where, your root note's there and you've got this minor pentatonic this way instead of this way. So you can do that, but put chromatic notes in between, so. Let me just think of stuff on that. So like, and I can practice going between minor and major. Yeah. Let me think. And remember that, that G lick that I showed you in the very beginning? I can put that on D just one string lower. Check it out. There's that D lick. Mixed with some of the other stuff. Practicing mixing it. Practicing vocabulary on D. Okay, there's a couple ideas there. The other chord in the song is C, so I'd loop a C, and I'd take some idea that I was practicing and try to put it on C as well. So let's take this idea that we had going. Remember we did this minor pentatonic on D? Well, you can do the same thing on C, just 2 frets lower. And the note we added was, we have the root, the minor third, 4th, 5th. You just put the flat 5 in. And you get that kind of minor blues. You take that minor third and you slide it up to the major third. And then below, you've got 6, 5, 1. So like, there's that lick on C. Here's it on D. Here's it on C. D. So check it out. I'll take in the song the C and the D and try to put that lick on each. So here's C. Here's D. Back and forth. Try to connect. For example, here, I can just take the last part, right? If I can just take and try to put it on C, and then D. And watch, I'll try to jump from one to the next seamlessly. So, kind of hard to get from one to the next. But you can practice it, right? That lick. Practice getting from one to the next. And then, you know, maybe take more of that entire lick and try to move it around. So like, and I'll go to the next chord early. So instead of doing an entire lick on C, finishing it, and then an entire lick on D and finishing it, I'll go to the chord that's coming up next early. So I'll show you. I won't do it early this time. I'll just do a lick and finish it. Pause, do a lick, pause. Now I'll go early. Here we go. Try this again. Let's try this again. Early. I'll try to keep it simpler. Go early. Go early. So you get the idea. I'm just trying to connect, you know, a similar lick going through chord changes. So now let's put that, you know, put it to the test. This is how you kind of practice developing this vocabulary. Let the song loop. And I'll show you where we're at. So I'll take a lick, put it here, and then D, C, D, so something else. G. Let's take a lick like that. This little repeating thing. We'll do one for G. So for G, let's go. Actually, sorry, for G, let's do this. Actually, let's do a bluesy one. For G, this is like a bluesy repeating lick. We'll go here. And then over the D, we'll go here. For C, we'll go here. D. And then at the end there, I went to G language. So for my D, C, or the other way around, it's C first, D, and then as it's getting to the G, before it gets to the G, I'll go to G language, so it resolves to the G. So check it out. G language. Another lick. D. C. D. Okay, G language. That little D lick. G, C, D, G lick. So when it resolves to G, it sounds good again. G, C, again, G. So I'll just take whatever ideas I can grasp onto and try to fit it over each chord and just sit there and try to practice linking them together. And so, I practice that at a speed that feels comfortable and then start working up the speed. So, for example, I'll just try at 100, just trying to put together ideas. Let's see. And I'll just kind of play, maybe some sloppy stuff, but the longer you sit there and probably the slower you go, the more you can actually start to kind of rein in some ideas and have them be things that you can kind of just go to. When it goes to the C chord, you can play the same lick you played on the G, but the way to make it not sound like the exact same lick over every chord is to put it on a different part of the beat. So that's why I mentioned, like, if I looped a C chord, practice that lick on different parts of the beat. So and take little pieces of the lick and repeat them to make it, longer or shorter. So C, same lick in 2 octaves. Might just work on that. Let me see. More time. Fine stuff. The idea, I can kind of just sit there and develop the vocabulary over each chord, then practice the transitions. So whether I want to practice the entire song or just if I'm working on it and I find there's one kind of transition that's hard or sloppy, I might just highlight that transition and practice getting from one to the next. And the more you do that, the more you can find ideas. Really fun way to practice. And will get you so that you can play a break over a song you don't know, and have something to say there that isn't it's something, right? This is kind of more in the hot lick scenario. But you can practice this same idea with different types of vocabulary, major stuff, minor stuff, different scales, different types of harmony. So we'll do more videos on that. If this is helpful, let me know in the comments. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments. I'll put together some type of tab for this that shows kind of a little bit of a hot lick on each chord that you can try to practice transposing to the different chords in the song. And thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you in the next video.